Hi, Dyslexic Genius here, Brett Hurt. My phone number is 864-236-1680, or you can email me at dyslexicgeniushurt@gmail.com. A question came up online. How does a 2-4-minute changer on an Edison Triumph or an Edison Home work, and how do I assemble and reassemble these? And I'm going to show you. But one thing you have to keep important is these changers have some very, very tiny screws and some very, very, very tiny parts that you do not want to lose. So first, let me show you how one operates. This one is set in 2 minutes, so we'll turn that on, and you can see this little lip here, and that's for your little finger. And now it's into 4 minutes, and you hear that click. That is very important. Now you hear it. That's how you change it. Some have a little changer back here, a little thing you can move back. It says 2-4 minute, which is really cool. Let's discuss first the click. On this part, and this part, and you see them here, we have part here, that's what we're talking about. But I'm talking about this part. In that part, I can do this. Is a recessed area right there and a screw hole here. The screw goes into a little spring that flips over to the little part, and it recesses in. And that little part is right here, and you can see the little recess. Well, that little recess, when you click it, it goes from this slot in the mandrel shaft to this slot and keeps it in place. That's what clicks it back and forth. And then the end of the mandrel shaft, the lead screw here, fits in like that. It always stays hooked up like that. Okay, but this moves in and out like that. These are the little parts you don't want to lose. That one especially. You have this screw and this screw. The drive belt pulley is held in place by a piece of metal and a set screw. Right there. The piece of metal goes in, and then the set screw pushes in, and it attaches right here. So if you put it together and you say it's cockeyed, you don't have this on straight, or the hole here is worn out, or this is worn out or boogered up. So you're going to either have to figure out which part is messed up. Usually it's this part. You also want to check this gear is driven by the end bearing. This part here fits in here, and everything rotates around to drive this, and this fits in here like that. And you want to make sure that all these gears are in good condition, and that this gear, which has that little gear, it's all cleaned. I would soak this in simple green 50-50 water in a little cup overnight. I would scrub it to death. I'd blow it out with air, and I would put oil. There's a little oil hole right there. You can see there's a little oil hole right in here. And you want to make sure that shaft gets oiled, along with this pulley. This pulley has 2 nipples right here that when you change the gear system, it locks into that one and that one. Some of them press in. They'll have a little bunch of little holes, and those will press in. Sometimes they get worn out also. This is the end bearing, which is this part right here. On later ones, they put in a bearing that comes in here, has an oil hole, and that fits in, and then this just sits right here. And it also has this little piece here and a screw, which is right here and right here. And this little piece of metal fits into that groove. And the other screw here locks it in place. this screw and the spring only hold so this doesn't move. It keeps it in place, so it's not wiggling. When you put them back together, this is the hard trick. You have to push this way, then you have to put this part in. Right here. This is going to go through the casting, and this will go on. Then as you're pushing, you will push the lead screw piece on like that. You leave everything loose. Now you're still pushing the mandrel and everything through. You'll get it down here like this. You can let it sit. You will put the end bearing in, which fits right here. And I'd bring it back all the way. Then you're going to attach this piece in. And then you're going to attach this piece in. And this is all fit here. But I want to point out that putting this bearing in here, the drive pulley, and this piece, you got to kind of wiggle it in and pop it in. You know, it takes a little practice, but I still have problems with it. You want to get all that in there. Then you start assembling all the screws and the bearings. The first one I would hook up is the clip and that screw that holds the lead screw in place. You'll see a slot on this. I would put that in first, and I wouldn't worry about locking it down. That will be the last screw you lock in. Then I will put this in, and now comes the really hard part. You have to put this clip in with that little nipple piece that runs in these two slots. I usually put a little bit of grease in here, just a little dab, to hold it in place. Then I rotate it and I put the spring on and the screw in. Now that you got it all set, now you adjust it for the pulley drive and you tighten everything down. This is very complicated, but it works. The first time you do one, you'll be pulling your hair out. Now, this is a lot of fun, and I just wanted to point that out. That's my tip for the day.